Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody. It's week 5 in the National Football League, and the Eagles, sitting at 4-0, are set to take on the Denver Broncos today in week 5 of the National Football League. A lot of great games on today, and we are here to lead you right into Eagles versus Broncos today. It's 1 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. I'm joined now by the legendary Dan Sileo. Big Sills, how you doing this Sunday morning, brother?
It is always a good day when it's a football day, especially when it's week 5 of the NFL. And look, we're out of September now, dude. You know, we now see a little bit of trends on what went on the first month of the season. We're rolling into now the October part of this. Now we're going to start being able to see who the contenders and pretenders are. And we're going to start seeing, we mentioned it prior to going on. I mean, dude, right now, San Francisco, I mean, I think the Bucs have a tough one going up to Seattle. You look at what the Commanders have today with the Chargers. A lot of the other people that we're looking at to contend for the NFC, boy, they're wobbling right now.
Yeah,
this would be a big game right here for the Eagles to kind of stretch their wings out a little bit and get some distance here a little bit early on in the part of the season here.
Yeah, it's a good point by you, man, with the Rams losing, obviously, and there's a bunch of other NFC teams that are, kind of not wobbling. It's early, but I hear what you're saying. Create that early lead. You mentioned an NFL day. How about following up a great sports day yesterday as well, man? Great college football, great MLB playoffs yesterday. A lot of great sports on. This is a great sports time of the year, Sills.
Boy, I'll tell you, man, Major League Baseball's playoffs have hooked me, man. They're really
they always hook
good
me,
right
man.
now.
They really do.
Unbelievable. And yesterday, too, the drama that you had. How about this? James Franklin becomes the first coach in 42 years to be a top 10 team and lose to an 0-4 team.
0-4, unranked. They don't have a head coach in UCLA. That was – I'm not a Penn State fan, but I know a lot of our people are.
Oh.
That's when you walk around 10. You don't bring out your Penn State merch today. You got to hang your head. That was a bad loss, man.
That was a awful loss, man. And now they have no road to get to the college playoff. I mean, there's no road for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, no doubt about it. Big Sills, your Miami team got to win. Alabama got to win. 2 great games there. So good stuff all in the sports world. We appreciate everybody for being here today. Big Sills, man, this is a good game coming in here. This Denver team is a team where you brought it up to me on our Friday segment where I said, they're one of the contenders, in my opinion, for the Liars month of September. But they are coming off a year last year where they had a good defense as well. Now, this is kind of a year and 4 games where you've seen that defense really take shape. Bo Nix is, a second-year player right now who's come alive kind of in that Sean Payton scheme over there. So they're a solid team. Now, they have 2 shoddy wins this year versus the Bengals, the Joe Burrow-less Bengals, and the Titans. But overall, not a bad team and very good in the trenches. What are you thinking early in this game, Big Sills?
Well, you have to look at who's building the team here. You have to look at what Sean Payton did with Mickey Loomis when he was down in New Orleans, and that you got to put faith in the guy that he knows what he's doing when it comes to building offenses. He built an offense in Dallas,
right?
And he was the offensive coordinator, Tony Romo. He knew what he was doing with Drew Brees in New Orleans, and now he's building an offense to the skill set of Bo Nix. I mentioned this before to you. This kind of has the beginning stages of what we saw with the Eagles back in 21. You've got an efficient quarterback where you're trying to have an efficient quarterback. He's a mobile guy. You're building in the offensive line. You're building over on the defensive side. This reminds me a little bit of the 21 Eagles. I mean, they're not near the talent level of roster where Philadelphia is, but you could see they're trying to build this team from the inside out. Great offensive line and that front 7. So I like what Sean Payton's doing. You're right. Philadelphia gets the equity on whoever they played because of what they've done over the last 21 games. We still don't know really what Denver is. So, again, this is more going to tell us a little bit what Denver is. Zander, we know who the Philadelphia Eagles are. I mean, they're going to play efficient, non-turnover football. They're going to beat you with their talent. They're not going to make the critical mistake. And one other thing that's been exceptional this year for Philly, dude, their special teams have been one of the best units in all of pro football. Field position, punting, extra points, field goals. They've been great on that end.
So you say we know who the Eagles are, and from a macro perspective, I agree with you. But what about the micro cells? I mean, I don't think we know who this Eagles team is yet when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. If you think about it, last year, when you bring up that 20-1 record, obviously 17 of those games were last year's team. We knew what they were. Now, it took till this time last year, week 5, week 6, to figure that out a little bit. But, they ran the ball well every game. They had their identity. They stuck to it. And for the most part, it worked. This year, I think you're lacking that a little bit. Not in a bad way, not just in a way of they're still trying to find it, right? How do you play on offense? We don't know yet because Saquon hasn't run wild. We haven't had an offensive line that's been as dominant. I think they're still searching for a little bit of that identity. Hey, it's good you're 4-0 and you're finding it, but I do still think they're searching for that identity a little bit.
Well, they're fighting 2 teams this week. Actually, yeah. Well, 3 teams, I would say. They're fighting the Broncos, and they're also fighting themselves because they truly right now don't know how to execute the complete game yet. I mean, there's not been one game where they've played 4 quarters of football. I mean, if you even go last year, there was only 2 games that I can think of that they ended up really playing 4 quarters of football. It was the NFC Championship game, and it was the Super Bowl. You could probably say that in that Ravens game where they went out there and they played 4 quarters of football, but it's been sporadic, man. And this year, because of the injuries in the O-line and because of the newness of what you're having on defense, remember something. As great as you and John say that the defense, and I'm not saying you're saying this exceptional like it was a year ago, the defense is playing better, but guess what? It's actually playing worse than a year ago because there's no razor margins anymore here with this team.
Right.
You don't have those margins. Zander, you can have a ton of 3-and-outs a year ago because you had the number 1 defense in the NFL. You don't have the number 1 defense right now in the NFL. You're down in the 20s right now, getting better. Okay, they are getting better, but this offense has got to start putting drives together. Dude, leading the NFL in 3-and-outs, I mean,
that to me is the worst thing. There.
That's the worst part of this, man. And here, I said this all week on the National Football Show. Hey, listen, I get San Francisco wobbling a little because of the injuries that they have. Trent Williams is not the player that he has. I get some of these other teams like the Bucs. What's the Eagles' excuse? I mean, they lost Becton. Okay, I get it. It looks like that's a pretty big loss. But, bro, they're not hitting on all cylinders. And yesterday, the guy who says the least said the most yesterday. I thought that DeVonta Smith's words were more impactful than AJ because you know why? That guy never says anything. And he clearly came out and said, this has got to get better for us to move on.
Absolutely.
This guy played at Alabama. This guy has won Super Bowls. Look at his resume on who he is. Heisman. When you get DeVonta Smith barking and saying things don't seem right, bro, there's no question they're having a lot of come-to-Jesus conversations in that locker room.
Well, greatness is a mentality, greatness is a mindset, and greatness is an expectation and a standard that many people don't desire for, they don't strive for, and they never reach. The Eagles, if they want to put themselves, and I believe they have put themselves in that conversation, that's a part of it. You played on one of the most dominant college football teams of all time. I guarantee at 8-0, you guys weren't sipping mojitos saying, hey, everything's good. You guys were at practice saying, we got to get better at this. We got to be more dominant here. We got to do this here. So I think that's a part of it. So I think that's a part of being on top of the mountain and having the aspirations that this team does.
I'll give you even better of an example. So we're in Dallas and the Cowboys are 1-15, right? The things that Jimmy Johnson did when he was 1-15 were the same things he was doing when they won back-to-back Super Bowls. It was about a routine and a standard that you set. Zander, the record doesn't set the standard. The people in the building set the standard. And when you have championship pedigree like that, no matter what the record is, it's about your process. And that's the thing that Nick talks about all the time is the process. Well, the process wobbled here, man. It is totally wobbled. And that 4-0 record to me, when people go like this and they you see people always posting that 4-0 stuff. At the end of the day, isn't it funny? The only people that are happy with it is the fans. And I guess that's okay. The people that have not been happy with it all week have been the players and the coaches. I mean, they're telling you. Just by their actions, they're telling you they're not happy with what's going on.
Sills, how would you, real quick, just to look at it also from a different perspective this week, How would you grade the Eagles so far through 4 weeks at 4-0
C.
overall?
C.
And isn't that kind of the most beautiful? Because I would agree with your grade. It's C plus.
It is.
C plus. You're 4-0. You've beaten 3 playoff teams. You beat a division rival in the Dallas Cowboys, who have had a pretty decent start to the year offensively there.
And are getting better.
Right, and you're finding ways to win games, and that shows you that if this team continues to put their one foot in front of the other, continues to get better, the sky is truly the limit for this football team. We'll see if they're able to do it. Sales coming off a week this week where you had a lot of drama. Not drama, but obviously A.J. Brown started up a little bit with the social media post after the game last week. How do you manage that coming into the game if you're the Eagles today offensively? How do you manage – we got 2 receivers who are unhappy. We got a 4-0 start to the season. Do you stick to your process? Do you stick to what your original plan was? Do you try and address some of that noise? What do you think the message is coming in here from Nick Sirianni today?
Embrace it. You can't run from it. If you try hiding from it, it was there all week. And the way I was coached with stuff like this, use it as fuel, dude. Hey, they said we were this. Hey, they said we're this. Hey, they said we're not together. Hey, they said we're this and that. Walk in that game at Lincoln Financial today and go into that game and play as a unit. Go in there and play as a team. Show everybody your solidarity. Show everybody that you're all together in this and that you're rowing in the same direction. Don't hide. I hate people that hide from things. I was really against the way Nick handled the football team with the banner stuff. Bro, embrace who you are. That's like not embracing your identity. You talked about identity. You know what the identity of the Philadelphia Eagles is? You're the defending Super Bowl champion team. Fucking act like it, dude. There's no reason to hide from your identity.
Yeah,
there's no reason not to embrace it.
I agree, but isn't one of the problems there that they still don't exactly know offensively what the identity is? Last year it was ground and pound, run the football. You weren't going to stop us. We stuck to it no matter what the media said, no matter what AJ said, and that's what they did successfully. They haven't been able to do that yet this year. So while their identity, I agree with you, is Super Bowl champs, act like it, what is the actual identity? What is the identity of the team specifically on offense? I don't know if they know yet.
Okay, 2025 has exposed the fact that you were one-dimensional in 24. Do you not agree? It's exposed it. Well, they're not using it. Get this. Whether we think Jalen can do it or not is actually irrelevant because the coaching staff does not put game plans together to what many people think in here is that the quarterback can be proficient in throwing the ball, right? Well, dude, whatever you and I say, Zander, whatever anyone else says in here, how about this? The coaches don't act like it. They don't implement a game plan when it comes to having balance and throwing the ball. You're last in every metric there is just about, except for red zone and third down in the National Football League and total offense. Bro, identity? Okay, you know where identity was? It was running the ball. Now your identity is not running the ball? Okay. I'll tell you this. I talked to Steve DeBerg the other day, and I brought this up with Stink, who was on the program last week.
He was awesome this week, man.
Bro, how about the idea, the reason that they run into flooded zones like that is because the Eagles believe in the second half of a football game or in a half of a game, they can wear your ass out. Yeah. And let's be candid. Haven't they not done that? Depending if it was the first half or second half of a game, then running that football in there, I thought it was a waste of time. Stink's idea is this. Hey, you keep pounding, you keep pounding, you keep pounding, you keep pounding. Eventually, those guys are going to loosen up, and you're going to get some points on the board. Again, Zander, it's crazy to say this. You're 4-0. You've beaten some really good football teams. And like I said, if you were in college football right now and we were going by the metric on strength of schedule, I'd say the Philadelphia Eagles right now are the number one team in the country.
Yeah,
I'd put you because of all the teams that you've played. Every single team that you've played has a winning record, right? Except for the Cowboys that won 2-1 going in to the game against the Jets today. So, dude, C+ with all this room to grow, man, I think they're in a great place, actually, when it comes for growth of this team. Now, the question will be, how are they going to approach this game against the Broncos? Are you going to stick to what you've been doing in the first 4? This is the question mark on how you approach the game will be the biggest question going into the first quarter.
I think also one of the best matchups here in this game is this is a trench war. You got the number one graded offensive line for Denver right now. Now, maybe you have a slant on that or a curved grade because of their 4 games that they've played, but so far the number one graded offensive line. And then they're a really good defensive line as well. They got number 1 in sacks, number 1 in pressures, and number 1 in pressure rate as well. Obviously, 2 elite edge rushers and Nick Bonito and Cooper over there. So they have really good players, Sills, offensive and defensive line. Eagles typically pride themselves, offensive, defensive line. Going to be a good battle in the middle of the trenches there today.
Well, let me throw this at you. Do you think that the Eagles have won the trench wars in the first 4 games? I don't.
I don't either. I mean, not to the
point of getting killed.
Right. Certainly not to the level that we're used to, where you watch our offensive line just beat up on guys. Certainly not to that level.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I mean, this is going to be, like you said, their front seven's pretty good, Zander. And I like what we see here with how Sean Payton has built that football team. Remember something also, too. There were a lot of first-round draft choices that were taken out of Denver's coffers for them to be able to retool the team, because they had to give a first round up for Sean Payton, and they had to give all those first rounders up and all that draft equity for Russell Wilson. So they're still digging out of it. I think they've done a pretty nice job at rebuilding the team. And it looks like the 2021 Philadelphia Eagles. Really good in the O-line. They're building that front seven. They've got a quarterback. Again, I think he's got a little too much cowboy in him. You know, Stink says he's a little kind of shaky in the pocket, so he's got happy feet a little bit back there. So I think it's going to be pressure today. Well, they get pressure on Bo. It's important.
Yeah, one of the best ways to help a young quarterback. They're averaging 143.3 yards per game in the running game. So number 5 running offense in the league. So they got some good pieces and good trenches. Obviously, we're going to get John McMullen up here in a second. We'll get the inactive report from J-Mac. He is live from Lincoln Financial Field. I'm looking forward to talking to him overall. Yeah, Sills, their offense, though, averaging over 100 yards more per game than the Eagles. Now, granted, there are some things that go into that when you play from behind. You go for more yards, obviously. All of those things, but just looking at their rushing offense, 143.3 yards per game, 5th in the NFL. Their points per game is 24 points per game, 16. So Eagles just ahead of them there. So they're a solid team. They've played well. Let's go to John McMullen, who's going to join us right here on the JAKIB Pregame Show. We'll get the updates from Johnny Mac as he joins us right now from Lincoln Financial Field. J Mac, a good Sunday morning to you, sir. How are you? Yeah, we losing them already? I think we're losing them already. Let me see if I can try and get them up. That Wi-Fi at the damn Lincoln Financial Field, man, it never works. I don't know what's going on. We got
for $1 billion stadium that you guys gave Jeffrey Lurie, man. You can't get any more wires in there. Come on, Zander, you know this. I don't know how this whole thing works here, man. We can't get Wi-Fi.
I would fix it, but they won't let me in the room, man. They won't let me in the room. I don't know what they want me to do about it. But so what are some of the other matchups in this game that you think? Obviously, we pointed out the trenches, but there was also some good matchups. We mentioned A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, kind of the drama that was about the Eagles' offense this week. Well, they got a damn good secondary too. They got maybe one of the best cornerbacks in football, and Patrick Surtain hasn't had his best start to the year, but he is still Patrick Surtain nonetheless. What are some of the other matchups you see in this game as well?
Bro, J.K. Dobbins averaging 5.7 a game heading into this thing. And with a injured Jalen Carter, I mean, we got to keep an eye on 2 guys. It's not about starting the football game for Jalen Carter. It's also about Lane Johnson. How banged up are these 2 guys heading into this ball game here today against the Broncos? So keep an eye on that. But, dude, look at the running backs' numbers. They have been exceptional when it comes to Denver running the football, dude. I mean, they're running the football at a great clip. They're able to get play action going. And if they can limit turnovers with the quarterback, they're a pretty good football team. Like I said, how about this? I think we could probably make the conversation that you talk about balance. Zander, they're not as good, I don't think, as the teams that you guys have played so far this year. They're probably somewhere in between the Cowboys and maybe the Bucks, somewhere in between there, right? Between those football teams. But I give them this. They're going to be a balanced football team heading in. They're going to have some balance here. This is really going to be on Bo Nix and how he plays, in my opinion, against the secondary of the Eagles here. Hey, dude, that Sutton kid can play.
Yeah,
He's not a stiff. Okay, I mean,
I think this is year 8 for Sutton. He's been a good player.
He's a pretty solid guy back there, and that's who. And I don't know if Q's going to, if he's going to be traveling or not, because they really don't seemingly have a lot of like weapons. But
remember, we didn't think Q would travel last week with Ibuka, and he kind of ended up doing that. So maybe this week Q does travel with someone who's been their best weapon, and especially their best weapon on third down. So
surely they go after Ringo this week, right?
Yeah, well, Ringo, it did come out today that Ringo will be the starter with Adoree Jackson healthy. So maybe this is a turning point in the year where Vic turns the page and kind of gets to the youngster and Keely Ringo. I'm hoping he can take off from here, man. I tried to remain optimistic on Ringo. He hasn't quite showed it at times, but I do think he has the traits to be a great cornerback. He kind of just has to put it all together. But he'll be out there as a starter today.
I said this about him earlier. I did not think at all he was ready. I said he's probably going to be a better football player by the end of the year. If you just keep getting him reps, keep giving him reps. Let's see what he looks like. Dude, because there's so many expectations on the team this year and so many expectations on every player, especially the players that have been replacing other guys that were on that Super Bowl defensive football team. Dude, when you're replacing a guy like Slay, look at the level of play you're expecting out of Ringo. So, I mean, let's see how he plays today and moving forward, like you said.
Yeah, let's try and get Johnny Mac back up here one more time. John McMullen joins us right here from Lincoln Financial Field. He joins the program. Johnny Mac, good Sunday morning to you, sir. How are you down there at Lincoln Financial Field?
Struggling a little bit with Wi-Fi. Come on, Philadelphia Eagles. You're a 4-0 team. Let's get it together. It seems it's always something. Right now it's Wi-Fi. So hopefully it'll click in here.
Johnny Mac, what's the update on the inactives, man? Just to start it off, who's playing, who's sitting today for the Birds?
Well, the big news is Azeez Ojulari will be active for the first time. There's only the Eagles are in. Sam Howell is the emergency quarterback. That went back to normal last week with Tanner McKee being the backup. Mac McWilliams, last guy here, picked up. The big news is Azeez Ojulari will be active after you lose Ogbo last week. Nolan Smith on injured reserve. So he'll be the fourth man in that edge rushing rotation. And maybe he'll have an opportunity to show some things. And similar to Keely Ringo last week, being forced into the lineup. And it looks like Keely Ringo is going to start again today at cornerback opposite Quinyon Mitchell. So, Azeez, story of the day from the inactive standpoint. A lot of hype on him in training camp, and only out there because of injuries. But if you get your opportunity, you need to take advantage of an opportunity.
Hey, John, how about the health of Jalen Carter going into this game along with Lane? You made the comment a couple days ago about, it's not so important for these guys about whether or not they're going to start. It's whether or not the impact and how they're going to finish in the game. You have any feeling on how these guys are right now heading into this game against Denver?
Well, you have to be a little bit concerned about Lane because he hasn't been able to finish 2 games. So, yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Landon, obviously, on the offensive line, has been dealing with a lot of stuff, but he's been playing through it. Jalen Carter called his shoulder injury a little serious, whatever that means. But he's been dealing with that since really the first day of training camp. So, that's some concern, and he admitted this week that maybe he's going to have to sit down at some point to calm that shoulder down. So certainly something to look at, but he says right now he's good to play. He's been playing through it. I expect him to play through it. Again, you have a short week, remember, with the New York Giants coming up on Thursday night after this game, and then you have sort of that mini bye. So that's really when you want to get some players maybe a little bit more healthy. But you got to get through Denver. You got to get through the Giants first.
Johnny Mac, talking about the trenches in this game, man. Not normally will you be able to say the trenches of the other football team are graded out a little higher than the Eagles. Right now, they are both offensive line and defensive line for the Denver Broncos. What do you see in the matchup of the trenches today?
Well, I think it's strong on strong. I think the Broncos have one of the best offensive lines in football, probably in the conversation for being right behind the Eagles. PFF grades them actually number one overall in the NFL coming into this week. So two of the best edge rushers in the league, Nick Bonito especially. Jonathan Cooper's a good player. They have good inside players with Allen. John Franklin Myers is a really good player that not a lot of people know about. So they're building this thing the right way, the Denver Broncos. They're building it up front on both sides of the football. But, they still have a very young quarterback who's susceptible to making. But I think the key is for Bo Nix that he's in a position to where, okay, he's got the offensive line, so he can develop and he can start to, if he starts to make better decisions and things like that, the Broncos might really click in by the second half of the season.
Hey, John, all the noise this week, how much do you think, if any, you think that has any kind of impact on the team on Sunday today? DeVonta addressed it. The guy who, Mr. Unassuming, is somebody who really doesn't really talk like that. You never really hear him ever really any kind of content or any kind of sound bites, and he gave you one a little bit yesterday. What's your feeling on that? I thought his words were stronger yesterday because that's a guy that doesn't bark about things, John. And he was saying we've got to get better here. We have to get the offense going here. What's your takeaway on all this?
95, add 50, and remove 85.
Yeah, well, like I kick at it. People didn't think DeVonta was upset about. Everybody has been on the same page, and I mean everybody. I mean Nick Sirianni. I mean Kevin Petula. I mean Jalen Hurts as well. That this passing game has to be better. So the fact that everybody focuses on AJ because of the way AJ sort of does it doesn't mean. And you can really go back to last year, Dan, when the Carolina game specifically. Again, all the attention was on AJ, but DeVonta said the same thing. Jordan Mailata said the same thing. Jalen Hurts said the same thing. Nick Sirianni said the same thing. That's where we are this year. But the problem is we were there last year. Now we're there this year, and they're still having the same problems. I don't want to say I've resigned myself, but I do think this is never going to be the passing offense that fans want it to be, at least most fans. I think they play a certain way, and it's very risk averse. It's very conservative. It's about not turning the football over, and they've won 20 or 21 games doing that. So, maybe embrace it would be my advice.
Johnny Mac, good stuff, brother. You're just kind of your keys to the game here for the Eagles to attack. We're breaking up on your internet, so I don't want to keep you too long here, John. But just kind of your keys to the game for the Birds today, and then your score prediction, my friend.
Well, I do think the Eagles are going to win the game. I do think, again, I like Vic Fangio and his ability to manipulate young quarterbacks and turn them. Bo Nix is going to make some plays because he's a playmaker, but he's also going to make, I think, a couple key mistakes in this game. Maybe fooled by some coverage schemes, things like that. So I think that's a big advantage, Eagles. And then the second part is I think the strength of the Broncos beats that. Look, Nick Bonito might get Jordan a couple times on the speed rush, but long, through the entire Eagles. So I think if styles make fights, I don't necessarily think this is the best style match for the Eagles. And I think, everybody will be harking on, I said earlier on verse 365, I think Saquon's going to be over 5 yards of carry, just to feel for that. I think that's going to happen today. And I think the Eagles are going to win another close game. Maybe Denver has the football chance to wait, and Nix throws an interception. That's kind of how I look at this game unfolding. Eagles 24, Broncos 20.
Johnny Mac, good stuff, man. Appreciate you joining in today. We'll talk to you on halftime and postgame. Thank you, brother. All right, there's Johnny Mac. John McMullen joining us here. I had to get him out of there because the internet was just no good today. Good stuff from Johnny Mac. You hear the inactives. Azeez Ojulari is active today. So for the first time this year, Azeez Ojulari will play in the game today. Looking forward to seeing how that goes, Big Sills. But, this is going to be a good matchup today, Big Sills, with Bo Nix coming in. I'll tell you what, though, we talked about college football. As an Alabama guy, I just can't get myself to believe in Bo Nix just yet, Big Sills.
He spent like 4 years at Auburn and then another 4 years at Oregon. I mean,
it felt like he was in college football for decades.
Jesus Christ. He was like he was an Army officer or something. I didn't know what the hell was going on with that. And he used the COVID year too on top of that. So, look, I thought John said something really great in this game, and I think it's right. I mean, they're a team that's kind of an odd matchup for Philly. It's kind of, they're good here, they're good here, they're good there. They're not great anywhere except in that front four when it comes to those edge rushers and that corner. If you think about it, and in the offensive line, Zander, this is kind of like a mirror image game for the Eagles here. Could you see an 18-17 ball game if the offense doesn't get going in this football game? Could it be something like that? You're either going to see a lot of points potentially in this game, or you're going to see 18-17. Because I'll tell you what, if the Eagles struggle offensively in this ball game, the first to 20 wins, right? The first to 20 will win this ball game. So, yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting matchup here. I think Vic's going to try to do to Bo Nix exactly everything that Sean Payton is going to prep him for. Don't be fooled by your eyes. Stick with your keys in this game. Because what Fangio likes to do is disguise coverages. Don't get fooled. Vic will try to fool the kid. Stay with your keys. This is going to be a matchup with Sean Payton as well as, Bo Nix against Vic Fangio. So I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out.
Yep, no doubt about it. It's going to be a good one, man. And by the way, that you mentioned J.K. Dobbins and the 5.7 yards a carry. Eagles haven't had the best running defense. Now, kind of it is reverting to what the Vic Fangio scheme normally is, where it's bend but don't break. They've been really good at bending and not breaking. Part of that is between the 20s, the teams run well on Vic because he kind of gives them it a little bit. Last year, you had the rare combination of how good the defensive line was. It didn't allow them to run either. That's kind of an interesting matchup, Sills, because the best way to help a young quarterback, at least in my opinion, in a football game is give him a good running attack. Give him a running attack that gets him 5 yards of carry, keeps him ahead of the sticks, allows him to play free football. I think Denver's going to have that today. It's going to be interesting to see how the defensive line of the Eagles handles that.
Absolutely. And, that run game that they have, Broncos are 5th in rushing right now. Dude, they can run the football with that offensive line. Now, again, the opponents that they played, I did the same thing with the Bucs a week ago when we're talking about, you're talking Atlanta and you were talking Jets. Same situation here when you got teams on the schedule like Tennessee, right? So, again, I've got to be careful with what I'm looking at here with Denver. But, Denver's offensive line, Xander, and their defensive line has been pretty good for about a year and a half. I had a conversation this week with Zach Allen, who's on that defensive line. He played in my conference, and I've kind of forged up a relationship. He went to New Canaan High. And he said, look, they're really happy, and they're looking forward to the challenge of playing against this offensive line. with the Philadelphia Eagles. So to me, man, I tell you, they're looking forward to it. I think the Broncos want to know where they are. You know what I mean? Because the Broncos, I don't think really know what their identity is. We talked about the Eagles trying to find that identity. Remember something, a year ago, the Eagles didn't find their identity probably until around week 8.
Yeah, right. We started at week 5, week 6, but you're right. Until they really started clicking, it was probably week
Then they
8.
went, holy cow, we're running the ball at an iconic rate. We're going to stay here. And they kept winning the whole way out, and it carried over to this year.
Is that the goal this year, you think, to get back to that run game, or is it just a different type of year?
No, I think their goal is to get back to doing what they do best, and that is why they continually run inside those flooded lanes. Zander, they keep pounding, they keep pounding for a reason, because you know why? They know that's where their gold is. Their gold is not out on the perimeter. Their goal is inside with Barkley, hitting his head on the goalpost. They're going to keep breaking that rock until that rock breaks, and they believe they're going to break through. That's why I agree with John. I think today's guy, I think it's Barkley today. I think he goes over 120. I think he starts setting the tone. I think they go on these extended drives. I think Denver is really going to be tested inside. Now, the key will be this, Zander. If Landon Dickerson and Cam are – I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt after this week. If they can't move that front four of Denver's, they got a problem, and they're going to have to adjust again, okay? Because this will be 4 weeks in a row you've not been able to get that run game going. And it's going to be on the quarterback to get the run game going on 3rd and long. So this is a big game to figure out. Hey, dude, is it the O-line? Is it the interior guys? Okay, I mean, if they stuff the run on the Eagles, bro, you can't be farting around, hammering it up there, and players walking to the sidelines going, we do have $51 million in receivers over here. Where are we going here, man? I mean, are they going to start throwing out of desperation? Or are they going to throw when it comes to preparation? That's the key today. Desperation or preparation.
Right.
That's been the key to the offensive passing attack, has it not? I mean, they've only thrown out of desperation. They really haven't thrown when it comes to being prepared to have a balanced offense.
Well, what do you think the Broncos
keep hammering it?
What do you think the Broncos defensively look to do today? What's the plan if you're Vance Joseph and the Broncos defense today?
To do exactly what the Eagles don't want to do, throw the ball. They want you to throw the ball because you know what? It's not that the Broncos think that they're better than you, Zander. They're going to what you don't want to do. The Birds don't want to throw the ball for 4 quarters. They haven't. So if you're a coordinator and you're Vance Joseph, you want that quarterback throwing the ball for 4 quarters. They may get some explosion plays, but Zander, they haven't thrown the ball for 4 quarters all year. And as a matter of fact, the last time they threw the ball 4 quarters was in the Super Bowl. That's what they're looking to do, in my opinion. In this game.
I mean, and look, and that's part of it too. When you're an opposing team, you're reading the tea leaves on what's going on. They're looking at what AJ's saying. They're looking at what DeVonta.
They're looking at tendencies,
right? And they're also looking at kind of the truth of the matter, where you got 2 receivers who are on. Hey, why are 2 receivers unhappy in Philly? All right, they're not having trouble throwing the ball. Let's push down on that. You're right. I mean, that's going to be a big part of it today. Let me hit you with a cup ball. Let's have a little fun on the JAKIB Pregame Show today. Over under 118 for Saquon Barkley today on the ground.
I'll take the over on that.
Ooh, I gave a big number.
I think he's going for 125, something like that today. I do.
So this is the game they find their running attack a little bit more.
Yep.
I'm going to go under. I think this Broncos D line is pretty good. I know their weakness is a little bit more the interior. They have those 2 really good edge rushers, Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper. Jonathan Cooper's a great story. I think he was like a 5th round pick.
Yep.
But he's a great story. He's been incredible so far. I'm going to take the under on Saquon 118. I'm taking the under on Saquon 118. Let me give you Jalen Hurts over under 65 rushing today.
Boy, that's right on the number. I'm going to go under because Barkley's going to have a high number.
Okay.
So I'll go under the 65. But I think it's going to be right around that number. like 60 yards rushing, because
That's
that's kind of
normally
where he's been.
it's normally where he gets to.
Yeah. Like I could between 45 and 65 today, somewhere near rushing on about 10 carries, 12 carries, something like that. I think that's what he's been kind of averaging.
Yeah,
I got him at about 100.
Remember with those two speed edge rushers, you got Benito Cooper, two of the fastest edge rushers, the highest pressure percentage in football right now, the most amount of pressures, most amount of sacks in all of football. Jalen might have to run today, man. He's going to have to be on the move, you know? Those are two dudes who can get to the quarterback, and they can get there quick. So Jalen might have to use his legs a little bit to escape from there today.
What do you think Hurts on passing numbers today?
Well, that's where I was going next. Like, what's a fair number to give you an over-under on? 150? I don't even know.
That's what I don't even know. Funny you say that. I wrote down 155.
Yeah, I'm not going 150 though, man. That just doesn't sound right.
What do you mean? You think more?
Yeah. Over under.
Why would he go more?
185 today.
Under. That's not what they're doing, dude. That's not what they're doing.
I'm gonna take the over. I think they get AJ and DeVonta going today. I do.
If it's over, they're behind.
No, because I think they're going to have to play a different way because they haven't built leads the same
way.
They're
not going to play a different way. You think they're going to play a different way? I know
I don't. You and John keep telling me how stupid I am for expecting them to play a different way.
They're not going to play a different way. I want you to listen. You're right. They should. But I don't believe they're going to play a different way.
I don't know if it's about playing a different way, but it's also about, last year they built leads with the run game. They're not able to do that this year. So if you're not able to do that, how do you get going early before the game kind of takes on its identity or takes on its personality, you know?
You're banging your head against the wall every week thinking they're going to change their approach, and they're not going to.
Sorry, we have DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown.
That's what they're doing too. They're banging their head with you. They agree with you. I just think that organization is so stubborn.
So you got under 185.
Oh, yeah. I got him about 155 throwing the ball in 60.
What do we got in the chat, everybody? Over, under 185 Hurts passing today.
Here. I've got Hurts at I got Hurts at 150, 65 rushing, and 3 touchdowns.
It's about right. It's about right.
That's what I have him at. 224 yards passing. Are you fucking crazy? What are you looking at? Where are you getting this from? Where are people getting this from?
I'm going over.
Okay.
I'm going to go over. I think A.J. Brown gets going today. I think DeVonta Smith gets going today. He's had good games versus this Broncos team. He played a college ball with Patrick Surtain. He knows his tendencies. He knows the ins and outs of Pat Surtain as a player. Give me over 200 for Jalen today, so.
Can I tell you the key to the game is?
Yeah, give me.
Whoever rushes the ball the most and has the most rushing yards wins the game today. Not the passing numbers.
Well, then the Eagles don't have the advantage right now because you got a banged-up Landon, a banged-up Cam Jurgens, a banged-up Lane Johnson. Cam Jurgens, I think, is the biggest issue on the offensive line right now.
It is.
All right, I was rewatching some tape this weekend, just looking kind of on the first 4 games of the Eagles.
You saw it, didn't you?
Cam Jurgens has not been good. He's been objectively bad.
Yeah.
Probably a bottom half of the NFL center.
Absolutely.
First 4 weeks.
Man. Absolutely. No. And it's shocking how far, and it has to be the surgery of the offseason because.
So A.J. Brown, I already know if you're going 150 for Hurts in the air, I'll give a generous number.
Okay, go ahead.
78 yards over under for A.J. Brown.
78. I say 4 catches for 64 yards.
What's DeVonta getting?
5 catches for 50 yards. And Goddard gets the rest. Or Barkley and him share it.
So you really just got us logging one of the worst passing attacks in the history of football and winning every game.
Dude, Army and Navy have a better passing attack than
you see. Navy was completing deep passes yesterday versus Air Force. They had a long ball touchdown. I'm like, holy moly!
Zander, you're kidding me, right? This is the worst passing offense in pro football right now, and you want me to sit here and Gibdo, what's that college team that we air all the time on our network? They have
under 78 yards for A.J. Brown today?
Dude, the Eastern Eagles have a better passing offense than the Philadelphia Eagles do.
Eastern Eagles today on the pregame show. Oh, my. Are you telling me they move the ball better in the air than the Philadelphia Eagles do?
Well, hey, I've never seen more quality wide receivers complaining 24 hours heading into a football game in my life.
I'm going over Hurts passing. I'm going over AJ receiving, and I'm going over DeVonta receiving.
I'll bet you the Broncos get 140 yards rushing.
I want Jalen to walk out to the post game with his big chain on again. He's got to put on the backwards Kango hat and say, "Is that what y'all wanted to see again?" That's what I'm looking for from today, from this Eagles offense.
Okay,
we got to keep AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith happy. So
I got a question for you. Will there or will there not be a tweet from AJ after the game? Yes or no?
You don't make tweets 2 weeks in a row. You can't do it because you got to wait 4 weeks.
Well, if he has 150 yards and 10 catches and you win by 20, I can guarantee you there's a tweet. Because he's going to go like this. Told you.
Well, would he be wrong?
No, man. This is the kind of team you need balance with, too.
I'm with Greg, man. I'm with Greg. AJ is over 100 yards today and a touchdown. There's show enough. Show enough. That's not exactly a novel prediction. He says, I think we struggle again trying to move the ball through the air, as we have at basically every game.
I completely agree. I do not think you're not set up to have.
All right, let's talk defense, Sills, then. Going over to the defensive side of the ball, you got Ringo in there. All right, you got no Nolan Smith. Azeez Ojulari's active today. Jalen Carter's banged up on the interior. Linebackers, I think you're in a good spot. Nakobe Dean's not going to dress yet. He'll probably redress next week. What are you seeing defensively for the Eagles today? What's the game plan? Who do you think needs to have a big game for this team to get the advantage over the Broncos?
I think the Broncos are going to have something like 350 yards in total offense in this game. This is what you're giving up right now. And I'm concerned about the run game because of Jalen Carter's injury.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you're hurt on the edges. You're not very good at setting the edges. You're giving up 5 yards a carry right now, and I think they're going to run the ball on you, dude. I think you're going to see lanes. They're going to get about 140 yards on you. This is going to come down to Bo Nix. I think Bo probably throws for about 235 yards in this game, only because he's going to be behind. It's not because he's some sort of prolific passer, but I think he's going to be around 60% in completion percentage. They really don't have anybody outside of that kid Sutton that really is going to be anybody that's going to frighten you. But that kid J.K. Dobbins, I saw him when he was with the Chargers. Bro, he's a pretty good football player, man. He's remember the kid Austin Eckler when he was healthy? Eckler would give you touchdowns receiving, 5 or 6 touchdowns rushing, and he'd be in that conversation like that. That J.K. Dobbs guy is like he's a lot like Austin Eckler and how they're going to try to get him the football. So
he's done a good job. I mean, he's like resurrected his career in a way. Yeah, I mean, he was. I think he went to Ohio State. I think he played his college.
Yes, he did.
So look, it's going to be a good matchup today, Sills, with the Broncos and Philly. How much do you think being in Philly is an advantage today for this team? Because you play in Denver, people don't realize what it's like to play in Denver. Now, we're not in Denver today, but for anybody who's never been out west, that air is a real thing. You get up there, you're wheezing, man. Shortness of breath is no joke. They're in Philly today, which is an advantage for the Birds. How much do you think that plays into it today?
Dude, that is a massive advantage going to Mile High. Holy cow, being at your own crib. It's a thing. I've played up there. I always thought that was just some sort of wacky thing. I went up there, Xander, by the time we got out of warm-ups, you're on an oxygen mask up there if you're not used to conditioning yourself in it. Plus, with all the drama that's going on, I will tell you this. Part of me says that I wish you were on the road, because if that offense with the Philadelphia Eagle fans starts limping around and looking like shit, let me say this to you. You're going to hear the boo birds at Lincoln Financial because they got 3 and outs.
I'm tired of people saying this is a bad look on Philly. The Boo Birds are going to be there every single week. It's a great thing. Our city has aspirations for dominance.
Okay. Do you think there'll be boos if that offense
at some point? Yes, there will be boo. There might be boos if they have a 3 and out to start the game. There'll be boos.
Dude, if you're 14-0 and you got 3 and outs, you're going to get booed.
I'm so sick of the beat reporters, John included, who come on and they're like, classic Eagle fans booing in the first quarter. Yeah, we're booing. We got a $250 million offense. They got to move the football.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, we're booing.
I don't have a problem with it either, though.
I love the Boo Birds. Never change, Philly. Never change.
Hey, dude, if Bryce Harper takes an O for it and he takes a collar, homie's getting booed. I don't care how much money.
Let me ask you this about Kevin Patullo, because we've talked a lot about this already to start the year, and I think there's a little bit of an overcorrection, when discussing things like this. What percentage of offensive struggles would you put on Kevin Patullo? 0, 10, 15, 50, 80. What percentage of the struggles do you put on Kevin Patullo?
0. And I'll tell you 0. I'll tell you why. He was the co-pilot last year who's been asked to now get in the pilot seat. They've done nothing different. He's being ordered what and how the approach is. Nick tells you all the time, this is how we want to win ball games. And now, how about this, Xander? Okay, I'll back that up and go maybe a little bit in the situational play calling and the sequencing of plays. I think he's a little wobbly when it comes to like play calling. You see guys walking off the field and they're shaking their heads. I agree there that I think he's inexperienced, and it shows sometimes in a sequence of plays with that situational play calling. So you can see that he's on training wheels. But the philosophy has been carried over from Nick from a year ago.
All right, so if I gave you then – I hear you. If I gave you Patullo, Sirianni, and Jalen, split the percentage of why this offense has struggled so mightily in these first 4 weeks, where would it lie? Is it mostly Nick? Is it mostly Jalen? And you have Patullo at 0.
Well, I got right now. I got Nick at 70%. I got Patullo at 20, and I got Jalen at 10.
Well, all right. I got Patullo.
I got Jalen Hurts in my conversation for the MVP this year.
I got 25% Patullo, 25% Hurts, 50% Nick.
Yeah, because he can. Now my problem with Jalen is that he doesn't fight back and he bites onto it and he agrees with it.
Well, they're winning so much, I think Nick buys into it, or Jalen buys into it.
Isn't it funny? Nobody else in the
huddle. Jalen does have, and again, this isn't a knock on
nobody in the huddle.
Jalen does have some, accountability. When you're the quarterback of a football team, you have to have some accountability. So I think he's a small part of it. I do think Jalen has done so many other things in games that are the reason we're 4-0 right now. I point to that Dallas game. He does things in games that other quarterbacks never will be able to do. So I do give him the credit for that. But the passing game, I'm putting him 25%.
Here's how I look at Hurts, though. Hurts is 100% on the side of the coaches and not on the side of his teammates. Because if he did, he'd be more vocal about it. He's not vocal about the changing of what they're doing.
Well,
the only people that have been vocal have been the receivers.
What about
I've even heard Barkley.
What about on the field with Pam Oliver after the week 3 comeback?
Okay.
About week 1 to lose. That was vocal.
Did you hear him come out going like this? Yeah, my receivers are right. We got to do this. We got to do that. Hey, Barkley's right. We got to do this and we got to do that. I've never heard any of that.
Well,
I heard the only thing I'm concerned about is the work. That's all I heard. And I heard Nick say the same thing and they echoed it. I thought it was an echo chamber.
Jalen does, love giving you those things. The only thing that matters is the work. Yeah, well, what about A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, who are about to ask for trades if they don't get the football a little bit more?
I'll tell you what, A.J. gets another ring, man, he is gone.
Yeah, he might be gone anyway this year.
Yeah, oh, no, get this. And you know where he'll land?
I don't think they're going to trade him midseason.
No, you know where he'll land? He'll land in KC.
Oh, yeah. Nah, they wouldn't send him to KC.
KC with Mahomes.
Nah, what are we going to get
and Worthy. KC, you know where they would send him, I think? They'd send him to New England, where he always wanted to go. They need a receiver up there. And they may win only 7-8 games up there. There may be 9 games this year. could be a good draft pick.
Well, it's interesting to think about because you got to wonder what the organization thinks. I mean, hey, if they're going to stick to this philosophy and it's all AJ shut up, at what point do they go, oh, well, how much should we pay this guy?
Do you think the fans on Monday, if AJ Brown has 10 catches, 158 yards, and they lose?
Oh, they won't do that though. They're 7-1. They're 7-1 when AJ Brown has more than 100 yards. 720 yards.
What happened?
That's where I think there's a false equivalency with when AJ gets the ball, we are a different team. Bullshit. When AJ gets the ball, we're a better football team. That's
when AJ doesn't get the ball, you win. When AJ doesn't get the ball, you win too.
It was some of the ugliest thing. It was some of the ugliest football you'll ever see. Now, again, does that matter? No, it doesn't. I get it. Here come incoming all the comments in the chat. Who cares? Before it, I get it, guys. I know what our record is.
Wait a minute. They keep doing that. The only people that are truly complaining are the players. So you guys can keep saying all that all you want. And you can keep throwing 4-0 at Jalen and us and all this. But at the end of the day, it's the players that are complaining about this.
The players are right because right now we haven't been able to run as good as last year, and our defense isn't as good as last year. So if you don't have those things again, you have to win in different ways, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
So we'll see. We got a couple super chats we'll get through. So let's start with Simo Mob, who checks in right now. What's up, Simo? Did we not see Hurts give it to KP week 3? Hurts gives it up in private, but in public he leads with reserve and intelligence. What are you, his PR guy, Simo Mob? Holy moly.
Hey, Mob, that's why all these guys are bitching and complaining. Even when I saw DeVonta, I had to post DeVonta. I had never seen him commenting on things like that. Yeah, he's right. By the way, did you hear this one? Yeah, I got to back my guy, AJ. I didn't hear I got to back my guy, Hurts. I heard I got to back my guy, AJ. Whoa. How come nobody backs Hurts in his comments?
What do you mean? Hurts doesn't speak in a way that needs back.
He speaks like a politician, you mean, right?
Yeah, he's a company guy. You say it all the time. That's fine to me. I mean, he's a quarterback. So Daz says 20-1 is now luck. Well, Daz, 17 of those 20 games were last season, dude. We're a different football team. Come on. Kimberly says, Jergens holds his hands on his back constantly. Yeah, he had back surgery. I tried to tell everybody all offseason that this was going to be something to keep an eye on. Everybody said, Daddy, you're turning into Sileo. What the heck? No, the guy had back surgery.
He did.
I mean, does anybody know somebody that had back surgery?
Dude, it was
easiest to deal with in the world.
It was nerve back surgery, not just fucking back surgery.
By the way, for a center who plays with his hand in the dirt and then gets pushed up like this every play.
Your head compressed, your back. Bro, look who you played. Chris, you know who you got next week? So you had Vita Vea already. Next week, you got Dexter Lawrence.
But two of the next 4 weeks, we got Dexter Lawrence.
I mean, dude, the guy's got to be an accordion.
Oh, gosh. Here's Blaze. What's up, Suo? Yo, fellas, let's have a great day today. I'm feeling one, Suo. I'm feeling one. I'm feeling a big A.J. Brown day today, Blaze.
You guys are high.
What up, A-Team? Let's get it, fellas. Both teams have quick turnarounds this week. We have the Giants Thursday night in the Meadowlands. Maybe a trap game for both. Well, they're coming up. Broncos are coming off a Monday night game where they played the shoddy, shitty, crappy Joe Burrow-less Bengals. And we have the Thursday night game. You're right, coming up with the Giants. I don't think it's a trap game.
That game was unwatchable, too.
Every game's a trap game when you're the Super Bowl champs. I mean, in a way, you can't take anybody.
You got to play your A game every game, right?
Yeah, which I agree with 100%. So it is what it is. Appreciate everybody for being here today. Appreciate our super chats today. Sells your final couple predictions, thoughts on the game for the Eagles versus Broncos Week 5 matchup.
I think this is going to be a very close football game for about 3 quarters, and it's going to get into the fourth quarter, and I think Barkley breaks one late, and I think he hits his head on the goalpost. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game 31-21. I just think there's too much talent. I mean, I do believe Denver's going to keep it in there. They're going to keep it a 4-quarter football game. But I think that, again, barring any kind of injuries interior offensive line, I do think that something to keep an eye on. Remember this, Ander. Keep an eye on that Broncos rushing attack. If they're over 140, the Eagles are going to be in for a long day. If they start being able to run the ball and there's an injury with Carter that's substantial, So, but I got the Eagles winning this game, pulling away with a late touchdown and winning 31-21.
Okay, politician Sileo, give me one bold prediction today.
This
guy's riding the pine again, riding the fence.
Q has 2 picks.
Whoa! I like a Q pick. I predicted that on Bird Gang 31 show because I'm thinking Bo Nix. He's susceptible for one.
So Bo Nix throws too many quails.
Yeah, he does.
So, I got Q with 2 picks in the game.
Whoa,
I think he's going to have a big one on Sunday.
I'll take that as a bold prediction, Sills.
Yeah.
I'm going to go today. I'm modifying where I went on Friday. Friday, I talked about a close battle, and today is the Eagles' 2025 coming out party. Saquon Barkley runs well. A.J. Brown gets the football. We look like the Super Bowl champion Eagles once again today. I have 37-23. The Philadelphia Eagles will detonate on the Denver Broncos in Philly today and beat the shit out of them and remind the league and A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith and everybody who's talking about the Eagles, including you, Big Sills, we are the team to beat. They
All right.
dominated.
How many sacks does Hurts take today?
Probably 2.
Okay.
They're a good team, but remember, we do have the perfect mitigation for their strength.
Depending on Lane's health.
Depending on Lane's health. But, 2 sacks I think is fine. I think Jalen's got great escapability, obviously, has he shown for years. I think he's going to be able to make them miss a couple times, those quick edge rushers, Benito and Jonathan Cooper.
Hey, can I take my bold prediction back for a second?
What do you got?
I see my boy Philly Don. You're right. I picked the wrong guy. I got to go Q with 2 picks. I'm going to go Quinyon Mitchell. I'm going to go Cooper DeJean.
You're going
Cooper DeJean with 2 picks today.
All right.
Because that's more in the middle of the field. I'm going to go in the middle of the field, and I'm going to go with my boy Coop with 2 picks today.
Look at Super Dave. Geez, Zander, pretty optimistic. I hope he's right. Well, Super Dave, I've been getting yelled at all week because apparently I've been Sileo-ized on the 4-0 Eagles. So I figured, let me come out. I got a feel. Super Dave, sometimes you wake up on game day. I always say you get those tingles on your arms from football. You get the goosebumps a little bit. Your hair starts standing up. Today I woke up, I shot out of bed, and I said, the Eagles are going to beat the brakes off the Denver Broncos today. That's what I felt, and that's why I brought it to the show today.
Well, I'll tell you what, they haven't beaten the brakes off anybody in a long time. So you're
saying
saying
you're going to love this super chat. You're going to love this super chat. Bold prediction: AJ's 3 catches for 25 yards.
That's what hey, JD3. That's what I think too.
All right, JD3, I need you to follow up. Tweets or no tweets after those 25 yards?
You kidding
tweets
me?
Or no tweets? I'm going to say 0% chance of tweets today.
Oh, I think there's massive tweets. If they win even 3 catches, 25 yards, he goes off Monday.
Nah, he doesn't do it 2 weeks in a row.
No, I tell you what, he will.
JD says major tweets. It's Ringo season, Dad. I'm with you. Another big game. Big Sills, good stuff, brother. Your final thoughts here in the pregame show. We'll talk to you in the postgame.
I think this is going to be a really balanced football game. I really do. I think you're looking at a team that's not in the room with you talent-wise when it comes to the roster, but it's a great play caller. He's a coach that's won a Super Bowl. I think the quarterback is going to be the one like we saw and heard with Stink last week and when he was on our show, the National Football Show.
He was so good on Friday.
He really wasn't he, man? He talked about all the things.
That was a masterclass. That was a true masterclass. That was incredible.
Is so good. So, look, take care of business. Run the football. I think you're going to be able to catch them late. You win the game 31-21.
Yep. Good stuff. Big Sills, great pregame show, my friend. I will catch you on the post game. I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss.
What do you think of the lid?
Lid looks incredible on the great, the legendary, the one and only Big Sills. Big Sills, I love it, brother.
I love you too, man. I'll see you after. I'll see you at the post game show, brother.
All right, man. Later. See you, man. There's Dan Sileo joining us here, host of the National Football Show. He's got the Birds winning today. The Birds winning today. Appreciate everybody for being here today. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Good stuff. I got the Eagles going off today. I'm done with this. I'm done with this winning games and nobody knows what to think of our dominance. I think today we show how dominant we really are. I think today we put our foot in the sand and we say, we are the team to beat. We are the best football team in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts says, all of you guys, get off my back. A.J. Brown has a game for the ages. Maybe he starts a streak. Maybe we got that 125 streak is back. I know Cobra in the chat will love to hear that. All right. I'm feeling good. I told you, I woke up and it hit me immediately. Super David hit me immediately. I woke up this morning. I rose and I said, the Eagles are going to put belt to ass today. Some days you just feel it. It's like when I felt it in the NFC Championship game. Who remembers last year when I altered my prediction massively right before the NFC Championship game? And I said the Eagles are going to dominate in the NFC Championship game today. And what did they do? They came out and they dominated. Sometimes you listen to those gut feelings. Sometimes you got to listen to them. All right? I think that's what the move is today. All right? Appreciate everybody for being here today. Don't forget to hit the like button. All right? Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. We got tons of giveaways. We had 3 on Friday. I sent everybody's giveaway out. Gary Sexton, I think he's in here. Abe, I sent out your merch. Abe wasn't supposed to be a winner, but I owed Abe. I said, let's get him this care pack. All right? And who else won? I had one other winner who won on Football Friday. Who won? Brandon Howard. I sent his. So Brandon Howard, I don't know if he's here, but the Canadian, it cost me $35 to ship to my boy B. Hal, but I said, write it. Get it done. Get it done. So hopefully Brandon Howard's stuff makes it through customs this time. Dirty Air, what's up, brother? Go Birds. Dominant win incoming. I'm feeling it too. I got 37-23. 37-23. All right? Appreciate all of you guys for being here, man. Appreciate it. Hit the like button. All right? See you next time, everybody. I love you all.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Eagles. Eagles.